Hello everyone, so today I have a rather large book haul. The majority are from BookOutlet. A couple weeks ago they had a sale that lasted probably a couple weeks, and the majority of their books, softcover and hardcover new books, were $7.49 or less. So needless to say, I took advantage quite a few times. They are constantly throughout the day adding new books onto their website, so I'm on there quite a bit each day. And yeah, I did get quite a bit for that price. It was certainly a good price. And I also have reward points that add up. I can get like anywhere from $5 to $10 off each order, depending on how much I purchase and that. And then I got some from Amazon and thrift stores and Costco and that. So I will start with this first book. My camera kind of sputtered out there, so I had to get a new charger, and next door was Indigo. So I do always go to their sales section when I'm in Indigo, and I saw this absolutely gorgeous book. Ooh, this beautiful hardcover, Gothic, fantasy, crime, and mystery short stories. And it's all embossed, and the spine is just beautiful. So I'm definitely going to set this out on my shelves so I can see it each time I walk in. It's just absolutely beautiful. There's probably about 25 short stories, give or take. Some of them are by Wilkie Collins, who wrote The Woman in White, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Edgar Allan Poe, and they're featured alongside an exciting crop of talented new crime writers. So yeah, it's just beautiful. Yeah, the writing's quite small. I'll have to polish up my bifocals and that. But I did read the first few paragraphs of a few of them, and it sounds like it's going to be really, really good. And then on Amazon, I've heard this book raved about throughout BookTube. And I decided to get it. It wasn't on for a bad price, actually, on Amazon, the Canadian Amazon. So I did pick it up, and that's Babel by R.F. Kuang, who wrote the Poppy War trilogy, which I still have to read. And yeah, this has gotten some very, very good reviews. It's dark academia. It takes place in 1828. This young Chinese man is brought from China by this mysterious professor, and he trains to enroll in Oxford University's Royal Institute of Translation, also known as Babel. And it grapples with student revolutions, colonial resistance, and the use of language and translation as a dominating tool of the British Empire. So yes, I really did want to try that. And another one I got off Amazon was Hild by Nicola Griffith, and the cover is absolutely gorgeous. And I do love history. This actually takes place in 7th century Britain, and the Romans have already retreated. There's a lot of fighting among the kingdoms. The Vikings are starting to invade and this sort of thing. And this young girl is, she is I think she's the niece of one of the kings in that. So it just follows her story along, and she becomes at some point Saint Hilda of Whitby in that. So there's a lot of political intrigue in that, and I just love history. And it's just an absolutely stunning cover. And then at the thrift store, this one was from Bibles from Missions, and their books are never any more than $4. And I got this for $3, and it's the 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. And I've heard a lot of things about this book, a lot of kind of mixed reviews in that. So this woman dies at a party, and one of the people there, well, it's basically Agatha Christie meets Groundhog Day. So each day, this person wakes up in a different body, and they go through the same day, and he has to figure out who the murderer is. So each day he wakes up in a different body, so he gets a different perspective and that sort of thing. So, yeah, certainly sounds interesting. And then this is from the Haunted Bookstore in downtown London, Attic Books. And if it's signed by the author, they put this little tag in there, and yes, it was signed by the author, and this is The Curse of Morton Abbey. And this this young woman, she is a solicitor, which is unusual back in the day. I think it was the 1800s, and he hires her to prepare the sale of Morton Abbey, his crumbling Yorkshire estate. So a lot of spooky things happen when she gets there. And then in COSTCO, this is by Ken Follett. This is a prequel to The Pillars of the Earth. So I did watch the series on TV, The Pillars of the Earth, and also As the World Ends, I think it's called. There's a huge bug on that window. Are you inside or outside? It's a huge one. Anyway, I digress. So this is a prequel to those. So yeah, this one, it doesn't look like a big book, but it's like 900 pages. He does like to write very long books, and this follows a Norman noblewoman, a boat builder, and a monk. And the boat builder, his life is turned upside down when his home is raided by Vikings and that sort of thing. So yeah, I just absolutely fascinated by that time period. So this is the evening and the morning. Now you don't have to necessarily watch those or read those other books in the series. This is the prequel, so I've read reviews that it's not necessarily necessary to read those books and that. But all right, and then now this book I've had for a while. I still have to read it, and it's Lisa Jewell, The Family Upstairs. And this woman inherits, she finds out who her birth parents are, and she inherits an abandoned house. And then she finds out that other people have been waiting for that day as well. And then this is The Family Remains, which is the sequel. So I've heard this is quite a good book. People have been getting better reviews for this one than this other Family Upstairs. So pick that one up. And then this is The Witches of Moonshine Manor. And why were we taught to fear witches and not the men who burn them? Exactly. That's what I say. But this is some octogenarian witches. I think they're in their 80s and that. And yeah, an angry mob threatens to demolish their manor and all that sort of thing. So it follows these 5 elderly witches trying to save their manor. And so I thought it would be kind of a cute story to read. Alrighty, and then the rest are from BookOutlet. Like I said, they're either $7.49 or less. So this is a one that I've heard a lot of good things about on BookTube, and it's Notes on an Execution by Dania Kukafka. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that one right. So yeah, I've heard some really good things about this. So it's 12 hours before this serial killer is executed. And his life story is told through 3 different women, a mother, a sister, and a homicide detective, and how he became like a serial killer and that sort of thing. So at first I thought, well, there's no way, I don't care what this guy's gone through, I am not sympathetic towards him, and I do not want to be sympathetic towards him. But other reviewers have said that the way they write the book, that no, they're not making excuses for the serial killer. They're just looking at his life through 3 different views of the women that are in his life and that sort of thing. But yeah, I've heard such good reviews about this one. It's yeah, I haven't read anything quite like that, so it should be very good. And then this is Things Past Telling by Sheila Williams. And yeah, this one looks so good. This woman is 112 years old, and she was born in West Africa about 1758, and at the age of 10, she was captured by slave traders and came to America and that. So it's going through her life over like 112 years. So yeah, it sounds really, really good. And this is a fairly new release that I got on BookOutlet for like $7.50, and it's A Flicker in the Dark by Stacy Willingham. And so when this woman is 12 years old, 6 teenage girls went missing in her small Louisiana town. By the end of the summer, her own father has confessed to the crimes and was put away for life. I can't talk. Now, 20 years later, she's a psychologist, and she's getting ready for her wedding. And then a local teenager goes missing, and then another, and then that summer comes crashing back, and that sort of thing. So, alrighty, and then, as you know, if you watch my channel enough, I love history, and these two books are by Karen Brooks, and this is The Good Wife of Bath and Locksmith's Daughter. So this particular book, The Good Wife of Bath, takes place in England in 1364, and this young girl, she's only 12 years old, and she is married off to an elderly farmer, but she is very, very intelligent, and over the years she managed to turn her first marriage into a success, and she rises through society from a farm girl to a woman of fortune, and then she gets married quite a few times and all the things that have happened during her life. And this is The Locksmith's Daughter, and this takes place during Elizabethan times. Her father is a locksmith, and she is apprenticed with him since childhood, and they end up getting involved with Sir Francis Walsingham, who is Queen Elizabeth's spy master. So that sounds quite intriguing. And then these three books, I always go on Goodreads to read reviews and that of books before I purchase them. And I've heard this series is very good. It's gotten over 4 stars. The first book is The Bone Witch by Rin Chupeco. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then the second is The Heart Forger. And then this is The Shadow Glass. And it's just the books about this family of witches and that. It's just kind of a vague synopsis, but anyway, it's just their adventures and that, but I've heard such good things about the series. And this is Just Like the Other Girls by Claire Douglas. And this young girl loses her mother, and she responds to an advertisement for a lady's companion, and it leads her into the wealthy, secluded world. But the home is not the comforting haven it seems. So other young girls have gone to this house and they've kind of disappeared and that sort of thing. So it's kind of like a Gothic mystery. And this is The Beloved Girls by Harriet Evans. And again, that cover is really, really pretty. So Catherine is a successful barrister. She vanishes from a train station on the eve of her anniversary. And then I think it kind of goes back and forth from the past to the present to find out what has happened to her. And then this is Dead Silence, the ultimate haunted house story in space. So this crew, this repair crew or recovery crew, anyway, they get a distress signal, and they find the Aurora, which is a famous luxury space liner that vanished on its main tour of the solar system more than 20 years ago. So they board the ship, and some spooky things happen. And now, for some of these kind of heavy-duty books there, sometimes you need to kind of cleanse your palate. So this is by Ali McNamara, Hope and Happiness in Bluebell Wood. So just a nice feel-good kind of cozy book. And this is Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. And this is the first in a series, and I think this was a fairly recent release. So this young girl is sent to her late mother's eccentric family in London, and yeah, she finds out that her mother's family is not quite what they appear to be. And this series I've always wanted to read, and it's The Golem and the Jinni. And this is the second book in the series, The Hidden Palace. So the golem is a clay figure brought to life in Jewish folklore, and the Jinni is a from Arabic folklore. And somehow they end up in 1899 New York, and so they try to fit in with their immigrant neighbors while masking their true selves and that sort of thing in their story. So sounds like kind of a different concept, but I've heard such good things about these books, so I'm glad I was finally able to get those. And this is The Museum Extraordinary Things by Alice Hoffman, and this takes place on Coney Island. There's kind of like a freak show, and this daughter, she's a good swimmer, so her father presents her as a mermaid, and that's kind of all I want to know about it. I'm going to go in blind and see how it goes. And this is, I think this is a middle grade book, Long Lost by Jacqueline West, and the cover is absolutely stunning. Just beautiful. So this young girl has to move to a different city because her sister is a very good figure skater, and they need to go to this city to train under a certain school or whatever. And she's very lonely, she misses her friends, and then she finds this library in a mansion. And she finds this particular book. And yeah, I've heard it's actually got very good reviews. So sometimes I have read middle grade books and I have been very impressed with them. So, and that cover is just so well done. And then this is the Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams. And so her father and this other group of men are collecting words for the very first Oxford English Dictionary. And yeah, I think they go through the women's suffragette movement, the Great War is looming, and everything that happens in her life. Yeah, kind of a vague synopsis. I'm sure there's more to it, but some of these books I just want to go in blind and enjoy the ride kind of thing. And then, almost done here. This is Irishman's Daughter by V.S. Alexander. And this young girl, or young woman, her father manages these small farms for this wealthy landowner. And then there's an uprising from the lower class, and then the Great Famine starts, and just her life. And this is The Master Butcher's Singing Club by Louise Erdrich. And so having survived World War I, this gentleman returns to a quiet German village and marries the pregnant widow of his best friend killed in action. And then they move to America, North Dakota, and he builds a business, etc. And their life. And this is Burden Falls by Kat Ellis. So I thought this would be good for like October, around the Halloween time. So this town, Burden Falls, drips with superstition, and there's rumors of Dead-Eyed Sadie, the disturbing specter who haunts it. And yeah, things... Oh. Okay, and then last but not least, James Rollins' novel, The Starless Crown. So I have read all of his books, and he's written quite a few of them. They combined history and adventure and science all rolled into one, and I've always really enjoyed his books. And this is his first attempt at sci-fi, so I thought I would give it a try, and it's called The Starless Crown. So yeah, I really enjoy his books. So that's it. That is another one of my book hauls. So yeah, I better get reading, but a lot of these books are so good for the fall and the kind of the Halloween season and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm so excited to read them all. But yeah, I got a lot of books I have to get through. So Anywho, a lot of great choices for the fall season. So I hope you enjoyed. If you've read any of these, let me know how you enjoyed them, or if you're reading a book that you think I would like, let me know. And so everyone take care, and happy reading. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.